Yeah, it's a great question. And I think for one, you can draw a ton of inspiration from other companies in terms of culture and operating systems and you don't need to reinvent the wheel from scratch. And everything is a remix, including company culture. And I think as the CEO and founder, one of your more important roles is deciding, like, as you think about all the places you could get inspired by and integrate into your culture, what actually resonates. And I think culture, is one part reflection, like when you're articulating your culture, when you're even talking about things like values, or at Clio we have a set of leadership and operating principles that pair with the values as well, that are kind of a playbook. Like, how do we get stuff done at Clio? I think it's really important that you look at those and think, what resonates with me? What kind of company do I want to create? What reflects reality today in terms of the culture of the company? But those values and the framework around the values can also be partly aspirational. What do we want to be in the future?
Yeah.
And I've been personally really inspired by a bunch of different cultures, but also really actively reject some other elements of those cultures. What I don't love about Amazon is, they've got a reputation for basically looking at employees as fungible resources and chewing up employees in an extremely demanding environment and spitting them out in 2 years. So there's parts of the Amazon culture that we've borrowed from and language that we credit back to Amazon, but use internally at Clio because it really works for us and resonates with us. But there's other parts of that culture that we reject and instead say our overall North Star for culture at Clio is this idea of building a human and high-performing culture. We want to build a high-performance culture, a culture where everybody can have expectations that every other Cleon is an extremely high performer, but we don't expect people to leave after 2 years because they're burnt out. We don't want to see people crying in their cubicles because they've had a brutal day. We want people to feel supported in that high-performance journey, and we want to invest, like we invest in things like personal coaches, performance coaches. And so we really actively invest in supporting our employees. And I think it's important that you have this unique perspective on the culture you're trying to build, that a North Star like ours of being human and high performing. Every company, I think, has something that is unique about them that they want to make sure they're articulating really strongly. Because again, if you do a good job of that, you can attract the right people that resonate with what you're trying to create in that culture, and also that can act as a negative filter and keep people that aren't a good fit out of the organization.